Hello and welcome back to Berserkersden. Thank you for coming back to our part 2 of our Toffee Caramel Bochet. We started this roughly around about 3.5 weeks ago. I've been monitoring the gravity and I believe we're coming close to our final gravity that it recommends in the book, which is 1.025. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking another reading and we'll be racking it into a glass vessel so it can age. So let's crack on. Okay, so to start, I've got my hydrometer in my drop tube. We're just going to crack the seal on this. And then I'm going to be putting a sample into the drop tube. Okay, so it hasn't got to the 1.025. It's stopped, or seems to have stopped at 1.030, which could be because if you come back to the part 1, our OG was a little bit off. We couldn't read that properly. So whether the yeast has reached its tolerance and stopped a little higher, I'm not too sure. But let's work out what it is. Okay, so I'm working that out to be 13.65%, which is the closest we've got to the buck. We'll have to see in the next one if we can finally do it. So before we rack into our glass vessel, we need to use a couple of chemicals. We need to use some Stabiliser and a Campden tablet. These chemicals just help stop the fermentation process, just in case there's any active yeast still going on in there. And it helps protect it from oxidizing when we're racking it. So with the Campden tablet, you need 1 per gal, which is roughly what we've got there. So I'm going to use 1. All you need to do is just crush it, just to break it up a little bit, like that. And then we're going to have 1 teaspoon of Stabiliser. So all you're going to do with this, you're going to get your new vessel, you're just going to put it in there, like that. Then you grab your auto siphon, don't worry about the liquid coming off that, that's just sterilising, cleaning fluid. Just going to pop that in there. Couple of pumps, and there we go. This is why I don't like using the bucket so much, as they're just too wide for a 1 gal batch. I don't use them, it's quite hard to get the pickup. Ideally you want to keep the bottom of this away from the bottom of here so that you're not sucking up any of the dead yeast or leaves, all the rubbish that collects on the bottom. However, don't worry too much about it, as after this has cleared out through a little bit and a bit more sunk to the bottom, I'll rack it again into a longer aging vessel. If you're curious to know what else we've got going on at the moment, to my right here I have a chocolate MEAD, which the video will be up shortly. If it's already up, then I'll put the link in the eye at the top there. And just after that, I just have a traditional MEAD as I was running low on some. Okay, unfortunately, that's all I can get from that. As I said, the base of the bucket is a lot wider than the base of a glass vessel, so there's a lot more that will be left behind as it won't suck it up. I'm a little bit concerned about the headroom there, but there's nothing really we can do about that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put my bung in, and I'm just going to give it a little bit of a swirl. I'm not trying to get oxygen in it like we do in the first. I'm just going to roll it just to make sure that Stabiliser and Campden tablet is just well mixed in. But that's why we put that in first, is so that it doesn't clump at the top if you put it in last. So the last thing you want to do now is just put your airlock back in, just to make sure nothing's getting back in there. It might gas off a little bit just because it's kicked up. So what I'm going to do is this is going to be left alone, let everything settle again, and then I'll rack it again, or I'll even bottle it then, so that we're reducing the headroom. If you'd like to keep updated on that, follow my socials, which are linked down below, or you can see them here on the screen, where I'll post regular updates on how things are doing. Feels like it's going to be a short one today, guys, so I'm sorry about that. But if you've enjoyed, please leave a like, maybe subscribe, and a nice comment down below. That's the best way to help support the channel, so I can give you more content. Go to my socials so that you can choose what I'll be making next. But until then, take care.